Have you ever finished a meal something you thought was really good for you, and instead of feeling energized, you felt sluggish, maybe even a little bloated or tired? You lean back in your chair and wonder, wasn't that supposed to be good for me? Well, you're certainly not alone. Many people over 60 are eating all the right foods, but they're combining them in ways that are actually counterproductive. And the real surprise, these combinations can silently block the very muscle repair you're trying so hard to support. That's right. What you're putting together on your plate could be quietly working against you. And I'm not talking about junk food or fried snacks here. I'm talking about common everyday foods, things like eggs, milk, fruits, and even yogurt, that many seniors eat thinking they're helping their bodies heal and grow stronger. But when these seemingly healthy foods are paired incorrectly, they can cause digestive stress, block nutrient absorption, and even trigger blood sugar spikes that ultimately sabotage your muscle recovery efforts. The truth is, after 60, your body naturally becomes more sensitive. What worked perfectly fine in your 40s or 50s might now leave you feeling uncomfortable or worse, slow down your strength, stamina, and independence. But here's the really good news: these mistakes are often quite easy to fix. We're not talking about giving up your favorite foods. Rather, it's about understanding your body better and making small, smart adjustments. In this article, we're going to gently walk through 5 surprising food pairings that might be holding your body back from rebuilding and repairing muscle the way it should. You'll learn what to avoid, what to do instead, and why these small changes can make a world of difference. And please stay with me until the very end, because the final food combo is one that almost every senior makes without realizing just how much it affects their muscle recovery. Especially if you're trying to stay active, reduce belly fat, or simply want to feel more energized after meals. Now, before we dive in, I'd love to know, have you ever felt sleepy or heavy after what you thought was a healthy breakfast? Or perhaps noticed your legs feeling weaker, even though you're confident you're eating well? Please share your experiences in the comments below. I truly read every single one. And if you find these kinds of health tips helpful, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. It's our cozy little corner here, especially for seniors who want to live with more energy, clarity, and strength every single day. All right, are you ready? Let's start with one of the most common food combinations people love for breakfast, but it might actually be doing more harm than good. You know, breakfast is often seen as the most important meal of the day, especially for seniors who want to protect their muscles and start their day strong. And for many, that morning meal might look something like this: a glass of milk, a boiled egg, maybe a slice of cheese or a little ham. It sounds perfectly healthy, right? However, here's the thing: no one really tells you. When you pile too many high-protein foods into one single meal, especially dense ones like milk, eggs, and meats or cheeses, it can actually backfire on your digestive system. We're often taught that protein is king, and that's absolutely true. It's especially vital for older adults to combat muscle loss, sarcopenia, and maintain their independence. The issue isn't with protein itself, but rather with how your body processes it, particularly once you're past the age of 60. Picture this. When you eat, your digestive system kicks off a complex chain reaction. Your stomach needs to produce hydrochloric acid, HCl, to start breaking down proteins. Then your pancreas releases specialized digestive enzymes to continue this process in your small intestine, where proteins are finally broken down into tiny amino acids that your body can absorb. After 60, your digestion naturally tends to slow down. Your stomach doesn't produce as much acid as it used to, your intestines don't absorb nutrients as efficiently, and your body simply takes longer to process heavy meals. This is a physiological reality. Your body's ability to produce enzymes and acids gradually declines with age, making it tougher to break down those complex protein chains. So when you overload your system with dense animal proteins all at once, like milk, plus eggs, plus cheese or meat, your digestive system can get completely overwhelmed. Instead of efficiently absorbing all those precious amino acids that your muscles desperately need for repair and growth, your body might struggle to break them down. This can lead to uncomfortable bloating, gas, and even that feeling of fatigue right after eating. It's much like putting too many logs on a small fire. The fire, which represents your digestive power, simply can't burn through all of it properly, so some logs just sit there smoldering, producing more smoke than heat. In your body, that smoke shows up as discomfort, sluggishness, or even worse, wasted protein that never actually reaches your muscles at all. there's actually research showing that even healthy seniors may only be able to efficiently absorb around 25-30 grams of protein per meal. Anything more than that often just gets excreted or is stored as fat. So while that big protein-packed breakfast might feel like a win for your muscle goals, your muscles aren't really benefiting the way you think they are. This doesn't mean excess protein will always turn into fat immediately, but it does mean your body isn't using it effectively for muscle repair and building, essentially wasting your effort. Let me give you a real-life example. I spoke to a retired teacher recently. She would start her day with boiled eggs, a cup of milk, and a slice of cheddar cheese on toast. It sounds perfectly clean and nutritious. But she told me, "I always feel sleepy after breakfast. I just thought it was my age." She's a very active woman, always trying to exercise and maintain a healthy lifestyle. This feeling of sluggishness, even a bit of brain fog after breakfast, made her worry that she was losing her sharpness. After we looked at her meals, I suggested she try a different approach. When she switched things up, keeping just the eggs and pairing them instead with some lightly steamed spinach and a little fruit, her energy levels improved dramatically, and her bloating disappeared within a week. She was so surprised to realize the cause wasn't her age, but a simple combination right there on her plate. So what can you do? It's quite simple. Don't cut out protein altogether. Just spread it out more evenly throughout your day. Instead of cramming it all into one meal, think about providing your body with a steady stream of amino acids throughout the day. For instance, in the morning, you might have eggs, but pair them with leafy greens like lightly steamed spinach or kale, and a small portion of easily digestible complex carbs like oatmeal or a bit of sweet potato. Or if you really enjoy milk, have it separately a little later. For lunch, you could enjoy a smaller portion of lean chicken fish or lentils with plenty of green vegetables and some whole grains. In the evening, perhaps plain Greek yogurt low in sugar, or a light baked fish. And for snacks, a small handful of nuts or a piece of fruit with a bit of nut butter. That way your body gets a consistent supply of amino acids that it can actually use to rebuild muscle without putting your digestive system through a war zone. And please don't worry, this isn't about being perfect. It's about being kind to your body, giving it what it needs in the way it can best use it. When you eat with awareness, you digest better. And when you digest better, your muscles will thank you. This will show up as less bloating, less post-meal fatigue, and a more steady flow of energy for you to enjoy your daily activities. Remember, building and maintaining muscle mass isn't just about lifting heavy things or walking easily. It also impacts your metabolism, bone health, and even your ability to control blood sugar. When your body can absorb protein effectively, it has enough building blocks to repair the tiny damages that happen every day, keeping you strong and active. Now that we've cracked open this breakfast myth, let's move on to another pairing that can quietly block your muscle-building potential, especially if you're taking supplements. Let's talk about something that often trips up a lot of older adults' vitamins and supplements, specifically calcium. We all know how crucial calcium is for our bones. From a young age, we've been encouraged to drink milk and consume dairy products for strong bones. As we get older, concerns about osteoporosis and fractures become even more pressing. So taking a calcium supplement daily is a very common practice, and it's absolutely important for protecting your bones. However, here's a little-known truth. When you take calcium at the wrong time, it can block another key mineral your body needs just as badly: iron. Iron is an unsung hero in your body. It's what helps carry oxygen in your blood, meaning every cell, every tissue, and most importantly, every single muscle fiber in your body receives the essential fuel it needs to function. Iron also supports your brain function, boosts your immune system, and prevents that feeling of constant tiredness. An iron deficiency can lead to anemia, leaving you feeling weak, pale, short of breath, and struggling to concentrate even with minimal exertion. But if you're swallowing a calcium tablet right before biting into a plate of iron-rich food like lentils, spinach, or even beef, you might not be getting the full benefit from either. You see, calcium and iron are like two people trying to get on the same bus, but there's only one seat left. Your body absorbs nutrients through shared channels in the gut. And when calcium is present in high amounts, it takes priority, essentially pushing iron to the side. It's like a traffic jam effect in your small intestine. Calcium and iron ions compete for the same transport systems, and calcium, due to its chemical structure, often has a stronger binding affinity to these transport proteins. Researchers have found that calcium can reduce iron absorption by up to 50%, especially when taken at the same meal. That's a huge amount. This is particularly concerning for older adults, as their natural iron absorption might already be declining due to changes in their digestive system or certain medications they might be taking. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine this. You're having a lovely lunch, some grilled beef, sautéed spinach, and a warm bowl of lentil soup, all excellent sources of iron. But right before the meal, you pop a calcium supplement. What happens? Your body sees the calcium and says, "I'll take this first," and the iron, well, it goes largely ignored. And that means your muscles might not get the oxygen or nutrients they need to recover and grow strong, especially if you're already at risk of anemia or have low energy levels. For older adults, this can manifest as chronic fatigue, shortness of breath during light activity, or even difficulty maintaining your desired exercise routine. Your muscles need oxygen to produce energy, and an iron deficiency means less efficient oxygen delivery. A friend of mine, he's 72, and very mindful about his diet, was frustrated that he felt weak and breathless after climbing just one flight of stairs. He was diligently eating iron-rich foods, but also taking calcium at lunch and dinner. He was trying his best to eat healthy, but nothing seemed to help. He even thought it was just an inevitable sign of aging and decline. Once we talked, I suggested he try shifting his calcium intake. When he started taking his calcium in the mid-morning between meals, for instance, an hour after breakfast, or 2 hours before lunch, his iron levels slowly improved, and so did his energy. He told me the breathless feeling had significantly reduced, and he could walk longer without feeling exhausted. He was surprised how such a small change made a big difference. So what can you do? It's really about timing. If you take calcium supplements, try to do it at a time when you're not eating a meal rich in iron, perhaps mid-morning or even right before bedtime. The key is to create a reasonable time gap between absorbing these two minerals. And if you're eating a dish full of iron like spinach, red meat, black beans, lentils, or even some fortified cereals, avoid pairing it with cheese or milk, which are naturally high in calcium. For example, instead of adding a slice of cheese to your spinach omelet, enjoy your cheese at a different meal or as a standalone snack. These small adjustments can have a big effect. You're not eating more. You're not spending more. You're just helping your body use what it's already getting more efficiently. And when you give your muscles both oxygen and nutrients, they repair faster, stay stronger, and keep you on your feet longer. This isn't just about preventing anemia. It's about optimizing your body's performance. When your muscles receive ample oxygen and energy from iron, they can function more effectively, resist fatigue, and maintain endurance so you can continue to enjoy an active life. Up next, we're stepping into more confusing territory. A pairing that sounds healthy, looks beautiful in a bowl, but can quietly upset your digestion, especially when your stomach isn't what it used to be. There's something comforting about a bowl of yogurt with fresh fruit on top, isn't there? It feels light, refreshing, and for many seniors, it's a go-to snack or breakfast. It looks colorful, appealing, and gives us that clean eating feeling we often seek. We're taught that yogurt is good for digestion, and fruit is packed with vitamins. What could be better than combining them? However, here's a twist you might not expect. When you mix yogurt with sour fruits like pineapple, kiwi, or oranges, your gut might not be as happy as your taste buds. Let's take a moment to think about what's happening inside your body. Yogurt is rich in probiotics, those friendly bacteria that help support digestion and maintain a healthy gut microbiome. That's fantastic. Probiotics play an incredibly important role in breaking down food-absorbing nutrients and even influencing your mood and immune system. But yogurt is also a dairy product. For it to be properly digested, your stomach needs a stable, low-acid environment, or at least an environment with the right pH for dairy enzymes to work. Dairy enzymes like lactase require a specific environment to break down the lactose sugar found in yogurt. While yogurt is fermented and contains less lactose than milk, its digestive mechanism is still sensitive to sudden pH changes. Now, when you throw in sour fruits, especially ones high in natural acids like citrus, oranges, lemons, grapefruit, pineapple, or kiwi, you suddenly shift the environment in your stomach. These fruits contain citric acid, malic acid, or bromelain in pineapple, all of which significantly increase acidity. That increased acidity can interfere with how the yogurt behaves during digestion. The result, yogurt starts curdling more aggressively. It separates. It ferments faster. And for someone over 60, especially if your digestive enzymes have slowed down and your natural stomach acid production has decreased, a paradox, isn't it? You need enough acid to digest well, but you're also sensitive to excess acid from food. This can lead to a very unpleasant aftermath, bloating, gas, and even acid reflux. It can feel like an unwanted fermentation party is happening in your belly. I remember chatting with a lovely woman in her late 60s who told me, "Every time I eat fruit and yogurt together, my belly feels like a balloon." She was diligently adding slices of kiwi and orange to her Greek yogurt every morning. It looked beautiful on the plate, but her gut was silently protesting. She had tried everything from reducing portion sizes to taking antacids, but nothing truly worked. When I explained the interaction between the fruit acids and the dairy, she was quite surprised. Once she swapped the citrus for a ripe banana and a few berries, everything changed. She said it felt like her body finally said, "Thank you." She not only felt lighter, but her morning energy was better because her body wasn't struggling with heavy digestion. Science backs this up too. Sour fruits contain acids that speed up the fermentation of dairy, and that fermentation in the stomach can cause discomfort, especially if your digestive strength isn't what it used to be. And let's be honest, after 60, most people start noticing that their stomach gets a little more sensitive. So what's a better combo? Try yogurt with naturally sweeter, low-acid fruits. Ripe bananas are a fantastic choice. They're gentle on the stomach and give you a dose of potassium, which muscles absolutely love. Potassium is an important electrolyte that helps maintain muscle function and prevent cramps. Bananas also contain soluble fiber that helps regulate digestion. Steamed apples or soft pears work well too. Gently steaming them helps break down tougher fibers, making them even easier to digest. Even a few blueberries or raspberries can add flavor without upsetting your gut. They contain antioxidants, but their acid content isn't as high as citrus or pineapple. Ripe peaches or apricots, fresh or gently cooked, are also excellent choices, especially in season. It's not about avoiding yogurt or fruit altogether. It's about choosing the right pairing. Give your digestive system a little kindness, and you'll notice not just less bloating, but better nutrient absorption too. And that means more of the calcium, probiotics, and vitamins are actually helping your muscles recover and thrive. When your digestive system runs smoothly, your body can focus on other crucial functions like muscle repair and energy maintenance. That feeling of bloating and discomfort after meals can reduce your desire to be active, impacting your physical activity and indirectly hindering muscle building. A healthy digestive system is the foundation for a healthy body, especially as we age. Coming up next is a pairing most people don't even think twice about, but it could be silently blocking your ability to absorb two of the most essential minerals for muscle health. Let's talk about something almost sacred. In many of our mornings, a hot cup of tea or coffee. It's comforting, familiar, and for some, it feels like the only way to properly wake up. For many Americans, this morning ritual is non-negotiable, an integral part of starting the day. However, here's where things get tricky. When you sip tea or coffee with your breakfast, or even just after, you could be unknowingly robbing your body of two minerals. Your muscles desperately need iron and zinc. Iron, as we've discussed, is an indispensable mineral for carrying oxygen to every corner of your body, especially your muscle cells. Without enough iron, your muscles will be oxygen deprived, leading to fatigue, weakness, and reduced endurance. This is particularly crucial for older adults, as it directly impacts their ability to stay active, walk, climb stairs, and perform daily tasks without feeling exhausted. Iron doesn't just provide energy for muscles, it also helps them recover after activity. Zinc is another quiet superstar. It's a trace mineral, but it plays a major role in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body. Crucially for muscle health, zinc helps your body synthesize proteins, the very process of building and repairing muscle fibers. It's also essential for a healthy immune system and wound healing. If you're deficient in zinc, your muscle recovery will slow down significantly, and you might find it harder to bounce back from light activity or experience prolonged soreness. Let me explain. Tea and coffee contain compounds called tannins or polyphenols and caffeine. These aren't bad on their own. They have their own benefits, such as the antioxidants in tea. But when consumed at the same time as foods rich in iron or zinc like eggs, red meat, beans, or even some whole grains, they can bind to those minerals and make them much harder for your body to absorb. It's like trying to water your plants, but there's a lid on the watering can. The nutrients are there, but they're not getting through. The tannins and caffeine form insoluble complexes with iron and zinc in your digestive tract, preventing them from being absorbed into your bloodstream. There's a well-known study that found tea can reduce iron absorption by as much as 60–70% when consumed with a meal. That's huge, and the same goes for zinc, essential for healing immune strength and muscle repair. Zinc helps the body build proteins. Without enough of it, muscle recovery slows down. Now imagine this. You sit down for breakfast. Maybe you're having a couple of eggs, a slice of toast, perhaps even some sardines or leftover beef from dinner. All excellent sources of iron and zinc. But then right in the middle of that meal, you take slow sips of your favorite black tea or a strong cup of coffee. It feels good in the moment, but your body is silently struggling to hold on to the very nutrients it needs to support your muscles. This consistent impediment to mineral absorption day after day can really add up. You might not feel the impact immediately, but over time your iron and zinc levels could drop below optimal, leading to chronic fatigue, difficulty recovering from workouts, being more susceptible to illness, and overall less energy to enjoy life. A neighbor of mine, he's 68, sharp and energetic, was feeling unusually tired after meals. He'd just recovered from a cold and was doing everything he thought was right, eating well, taking a multivitamin. But then we talked, and he realized he always had coffee with breakfast. He didn't just have one cup, often 2 or 3 while reading the paper and eating. He had been drinking his coffee this way for decades and never thought it could be a problem. He had tried various things, from changing the type of toast to adding more vitamins, but nothing truly lifted that post-meal fog. After I explained the interaction between coffee and minerals, he decided to try a small adjustment. He still enjoyed his coffee, but he moved his coffee time to mid-morning, just an hour after breakfast. What happened? His energy picked up significantly, and so did his iron levels. He was amazed at how such a minor shift could make such a big difference. So what can you do? You don't need to give up your tea or coffee. Just give it some space. Try waiting 45 to 60 minutes after your meal before enjoying that warm mug. Or have your tea mid-morning once breakfast is fully digested. That way your body has time to pull in those minerals it needs uninterrupted. And if you still want a warm drink with meals, go for something gentler like warm water with a splash of lemon, or even a mild herbal tea that's naturally caffeine-free. These won't interfere with mineral absorption, and they can still give you that cozy grounding feeling. Good herbal tea options include ginger tea, peppermint tea, or chamomile tea. They can even aid digestion. This isn't about sacrificing your enjoyment. It's about optimizing your health. By adjusting the timing of your favorite beverage, you're helping your body make the most of the nutrients you're already providing. This not only helps your muscles recover faster and stay stronger, but also boosts your overall energy levels and immune function. Remember, every cell in your body needs iron and zinc to function optimally. When you ensure you're absorbing them effectively, you're supporting not just your muscles but also your brain function, energy levels, and your body's defense against illness. This is a prime example of how small dietary adjustments can yield significant health benefits. Next, let's look at one final food mistake. One that feels totally innocent, even like clean eating. But for older adults trying to rebuild muscle, it might be setting you back more than you think. Let me guess, you've had one of those meals where everything just feels right. A hearty bowl of rice, maybe a small piece of grilled fish or a boiled egg. And for dessert, a couple of sweet slices of ripe mango or a banana. It's colorful, natural, and feels wholesome. It sounds like a perfectly balanced meal full of carbs, protein, and vitamins from fruit. However, here's the surprise. Pairing sweet fruits with starchy foods like rice or bread can quietly work against your muscle repair efforts, especially after 60. Here's why. When you eat simple sugars from sweet fruits like ripe bananas, mangoes, grapes, or watermelon alongside starchy foods like white rice noodles, or even whole wheat bread, you're creating a rapid surge of glucose in your bloodstream. It's a double carb combo that the body digests very quickly. Think about it this way. Starches, carbohydrates break down into glucose. Sweet fruits also contain natural sugars, fructose and glucose. When you eat them at the same time, your stomach and intestines process them rapidly, pushing a large amount of glucose into your bloodstream. This sudden spike in blood sugar causes your body to release a surge of insulin, the hormone that helps shuttle glucose into your cells for energy. That might sound helpful, right? Insulin is key to keeping blood sugar stable. But too much insulin at the wrong time does more than just regulate sugar. It also sends a signal to your body to first stop breaking down fat. When insulin levels are high, your body prioritizes using glucose for energy and storing existing fat reserves. This is particularly problematic for older adults, as reducing belly fat, visceral fat, is crucial for lowering the risk of heart disease and diabetes. Second, it pauses muscle building. Yes, that's right. High insulin levels can actually interfere with how your muscles recover and grow. Insulin to a certain extent is anabolic building, but when it's excessively high and prolonged, it can create a state where your body prioritizes energy storage over tissue repair and building. This can affect pathways like mTOR, mammalian target of rapamycin, a key pathway regulating cell growth and muscle protein synthesis. If your blood sugar is constantly spiking and insulin is high, it can weaken your body's ability to efficiently use protein for muscle recovery after exercise. It's like trying to plant seeds during a thunderstorm. The ground's overwhelmed and nothing takes root. Your body becomes overloaded with glucose, and instead of focusing on repair and rebuild for your muscles, it shifts into emergency storage mode. For older adults, this issue is compounded because their body's ability to control blood sugar might already be diminished, and many may already have a degree of insulin resistance. This means their body has to produce even more insulin to handle the same amount of sugar, creating a vicious cycle. I remember speaking to a kind retired nurse who told me, every lunch, I had my rice, vegetables, and then a ripe banana. She thought she was doing everything right, but she always felt heavy and sleepy afterward. She would end her workday feeling more tired than refreshed and couldn't understand why. She even found it hard to lose weight around her midsection, even though she was eating what she considered very clean. We adjusted her habit. Instead of eating her banana right after her rice meal, she began enjoying her fruit an hour before lunch, or as a light mid-afternoon snack instead. For example, she might have her banana around 10 a.m., and then her lunch around 12 p.m. Or she would eat her lunch and then wait until 3 p.m. for her fruit. Within a few weeks, she noticed she wasn't as bloated and had more steady energy. She even started to see a small reduction in her belly fat, something she had struggled with for years. So what can you do? You don't need to give up sweet fruits. Just give your body space to handle one fuel at a time. First, separate the timing. If you're going to have a starchy meal, wait at least an hour before eating fruit. Or if you'd rather eat the fruit first, let it settle before moving on to the rice or bread. Second, consider fruit as a standalone snack. Enjoy fruit as a light snack between main meals. When you eat fruits on their own, especially on an empty stomach, your body absorbs their antioxidants and vitamins more efficiently. Third, combine smartly. If you do want to eat fruit with a meal, prioritize less sweet, higher fiber fruits like berries, green apples, and combine them with a healthy fat or protein source to slow down sugar absorption. E.g., apple slices with almond butter, berries with plain Greek yogurt. Lastly, choose complex starches. When consuming starches, prioritize whole, less processed grains, brown rice instead of white rice, whole wheat bread instead of white bread, as they contain more fiber, which helps slow down sugar absorption. Your blood sugar will thank you, so will your muscles. And here's something else. When you eat fruits on their own, especially on an empty stomach, your body absorbs their antioxidants and vitamins more efficiently. That means more support for your immune system, your joints, and your recovery, all from just changing the order of your meals. Managing blood sugar isn't just about preventing diabetes. For older adults, it's directly linked to energy levels, mood, sleep, quality, and the ability to maintain a healthy weight. When you control your blood sugar, you reduce inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, and create a more favorable environment for muscle growth and repair. So now that we've uncovered these 5 sneaky food combinations that could be sabotaging your muscle health, you might be thinking, do I really have to change everything I eat? Absolutely not. The truth is, you don't need to flip your diet upside down. You're already doing a lot of things right, choosing real foods, staying curious, and genuinely caring about your health. That alone is something to be proud of. What we talked about today isn't about restriction. It's about refinement. It's not a list of don'ts, but rather a guide on how to eat smarter to support your body. You don't need to count calories, you don't need to give up your favorite foods, and you certainly don't need to feel guilty about past meals. This is about empowering you with knowledge. Just tiny shifts, knowing when and how to combine foods, can help your body do what it naturally wants to do: heal, repair, and stay strong. Because your body, even at 60, 70, 80, or beyond, still wants to support you. It's still trying every single day. All it needs is a little kindness and clarity from you. Remember, muscle strength isn't just about hitting the gym or drinking protein shakes. It's about how well your body digests, absorbs, and uses the nutrients you give it. And when you stop sabotaging that process often, without even realizing it, you'll unlock a strength and energy you might have thought was long gone. So today, start small. Maybe you shift your calcium pill to later in the day. Perhaps you'll enjoy your coffee an hour after breakfast instead of during. Or you'll pause before reaching for fruit right after rice. These aren't sacrifices. They're acts of self-respect, little choices that say, I want to feel better. I want to keep moving. I'm not done yet. If this article gave you something to think about, something helpful or hopeful, would you let me know in the comments? I'd truly love to hear your story. Perhaps you've already tried one of these tips and seen a difference. Or do you have another healthy eating habit you'd like to share with our community? And please don't forget to like this article and subscribe to our channel, where we'll keep sharing tips like these to help you feel stronger, clearer, and more connected every single day. Your journey matters, and you're never too old to feel better than yesterday. Until next time, take care of yourself. Gently, consistently, and with heart.